as Abraham was blessed by Melchizedek, a mysterious figure who stood as both king and priest. In him, we see a divine pattern, authority and spirituality united, reflecting the fullness of God. From Abraham came two covenant sons, and through them, two streams of faith. Ishmael, the firstborn, carried the strength of Abraham, according to the law in Deuteronomy 21 verse 17, that says he must acknowledge the son of his unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double share of all he has. That son is the first sign of his father's strength, so Ishmael is the sign of Abraham's strength. Israel, on the other hand, was called to be a nation of priests, a people set apart for spiritual service. But here is the deeper mystery. The Spirit of God is not the same as the Holy Spirit. Just like the sun and the moon, one source but two expressions. In Genesis 1 verse 2, the Spirit of God hovers over the waters as the Creator. In Judges, that same Spirit comes upon men like Gideon, Jephthah, and Samson, gathering armies, directing strategy, and releasing supernatural strength. Then in Isaiah 11 verse 2, we see its fullness: wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, knowledge, and the fear of the Lord. This is not just a gentle presence. It is power, precision, and divine authority. So if Ishmael carries the strength of Abraham, then the Spirit of God must move through his lineage. But power always requires a point of contact, a well. In the Bible, a well represents the source of spiritual power. Just as Hagar's eyes were open to a well that saved Ishmael, so too, in the end times, God reveals a well that preserves the faith. In this pattern, Moses brought the law. Jesus became the well of the Holy Spirit, living water for all. And among the sons of Ishmael, the same pattern emerges. The prophet brought the message. But Imam Ali became the door, the living example, the embodiment of divine guidance in action. In the end, there will be a group of people who will rise up in the spiritual guidance of Imam Ali. Jeremiah 49 verse 38. And I will set my throne in Elam, an ancient biblical name for Iran. Why is this power given? This is given to bring salvation to the world through monotheism. Salvation and strength go together. Revelation 12 verse 10 says, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. While salvation must come through belief in one Creator, Christ showed us the way to the kingdom. In Islamic understanding, heaven is known as the Jannah, and its highest, most exalted realm is called Al-Firdaus. The teaching of Christ is all about how to enter the kingdom that is Al-Firdaus, the most exalted place in heaven. Christians are not taught about this difference. For many, heaven and the kingdom is the same. You cannot enter the kingdom unless you first become the citizen of heaven. That's why in the Bible salvation is symbolized as a garment and the kingdom is the crown. If you don't have your garments on, will the crown make sense? Imam Ali stands as an example. His life demonstrates how divine strength is lived. And here is the hidden law of the Spirit. Access to divine glory comes through sacrifice. As the kingdom is guarded by flaming swords. Moses was not martyred, but Jesus was. Elijah was not martyred, but John the Baptist was. The prophet was not martyred, but Imam Ali was. Why? Because when a door is opened for humanity to access divine light, a price is paid. Jesus said, Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. Jesus was not just talking about himself, but he was explaining the value of becoming a martyr. Imam Ali's martyrdom was not an end, but an opening, a well through which the strength of Abraham continues to flow to the sons of Ishmael and all those who worship the Most High as one. And in the end times, the awaited Imam Mahdi will not bring in new doctrines. He will uncover what was always there. He will reveal the wells of Abrahamic faith, restoring what was buried, and uniting what was divided. The hidden well that saved Ishmael in the wilderness is the sign of the final Imam. The revelation of the well will preserve the faith and also help many to enter the kingdom. Everyone who worships the Most High must have a fair chance to enter the most elevated place in heaven. And that is the reason the much-awaited Imam of the Muslims must show up before the judgment, to sustain them in the end times and to lead many to paradise. This is how the Bible connects the dots. Iran rising to power because they are guided by those who follow Imam Ali. The strength of Abraham is accessed through Imam Ali, so he is rightly seen as the one with his Zulfikar. Salvation moves with strength, and the gospel of the kingdom through Christ will also advance in power. Jesus is seen in Revelation as the one from whose mouth goes out a double-edged sword, symbolizing the power of truth over the lies of the Antichrist. Subscribe for more on the end time prophesies and prepare for the great day of the Lord. Thanks for watching.